Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 12, The Reunion, Part 2. All right, you guys, so before I get started, I did put a little makeup on. Shout out to the rock star last week who told me I can't get up here talking about how the other women look, and I looked a mess. I kind of laughed because it was true. I was just like, Roxanne, you do look a little bit of a mess. So y'all ain't even got to get on the other person. That's what I love about the rock stars. Sometimes y'all keeps it all the way real. And if I was going to be real with myself, I was like, okay, Roxanne, just maybe spruce it up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I can laugh at myself. I probably won't be wearing makeup the rest of the week, but I was like, let me at least put it on for this video. And look at this. Ain't this cute, y'all? I got this from 988 Concepts. It's a little headband. Y'all know Sophia. What's her channel? RSVP on YouTube. She has a store. Well, she had a physical store, brick and mortar, but now she has an online store exclusively, and she sells these little headbands. And I was like, that is cute. It's not nothing that I normally would wear. I almost feel like I'm too old for it, but it was just cute to me. And I was like, look like a little girly. Shout out to 988 Concepts. I bought it just like $20 or something. Cute though. I thought that was cute. Anyway, you guys, let's just get on with the review, shall we? All right, you guys. So it's so much back and forth between the girls on the show. It's hard for me to really keep track of the arguments and all of that. I don't know how much, I don't know how much imitation you guys are going to get out of me today. First, let's start off with this text message or this exchange that supposedly Porsha and Kenya had back and forth with each other about Cynthia. Remember last week, Porsha was like, I'm sending it to you right now. Well, Andy said that he read the text message, and basically they said that the text message was saying how Kenya was not so happy with Cynthia because Cynthia didn't stand up for her the same way that Porsha had stood up for, her when she came for Eva. Okay. So it wasn't really the smoking gun like Porsha was trying to make it seem like, but Porsha went on to say that they also spoke on the phone and that Kenya has said that she was going to come for. Now, that wasn't in the text message. So then Kenya was like, girl, I never talked to you on the phone. So as of now, it's just hearsay. She said versus what the other person said. Basically, Cynthia, how do you feel about it? Cynthia was like, look, we got a dysfunctional sisterhood here, but we all are sisters. Okay. Basically, everybody talks about everybody. Everybody talks shit about everybody. That's just kind of what they do. So it doesn't bother her that much. As far as Kenya and Eva's relationship and them two not getting along, that has nothing to do with Cynthia. She was just like, I'm friends with both of them. Their beef between the two of them is just their beef between the two of them. And honestly, I don't know what you have to do to Cynthia. I guess you would have to do what Nene did to Cynthia for Cynthia to finally 100% be done with you. Because Cynthia always forgives Kenya or just says, oh, that's just Kenya being Kenya. She never ever really presses her to the wall and just be like, yeah, some fucked up shit that she did, So whatever. Now, Nene and Cynthia, how are you guys' relationship? Nene said, well, it's baby steps. They not like the girls like they were before, but she respects Cynthia for, as her friend, whatever that might mean. Cynthia said, yes, we both said some hurtful things to each other. Nene, of course, always has to shake her head or feel like she didn't say anything hurtful to Cynthia when she was a fucking bitch, a mad raven bitch at the reunion last season and just really came for Cynthia's neck, But Nene will always say she didn't do anything to Cynthia, that Cynthia did everything to her. So whether or not you believe that, Cynthia says that she's fine where they are in their friendship right now, and she's all for the spiritual journeys and whatever Cynthia and, Nene's friendship got to go through for it to stay on track, she's there for. Now, we get on the subject of motherhood, okay? And, they just go through all the moms on the show whose kids' stories kind of, worked into their storyline. Cynthia, how's it going in LA? She said, it's good, it's bad. We're quarantining. Her daughter is there with her, and it looks like Mike has his daughters a lot of the time. And, she's just like, we just making it happen. Noelle's happy. She's happy in her relationship. You guys know that Noelle is gay. She's fine with that. She just wants her child to be happy and figure it out. So she's supportive in that way. Marlo being Munty. Okay, how's it going? It's going great. Okay, she's really fallen into this. You guys, I watched Marlo on her Instagram, and there you can really tell that she's always been very involved with her family. For all of the shit and the mess that Marlo can be, she's always with her family, down in Florida. And so it wasn't surprising to me when she ended up with those nephews. And how has it changed, Munty? Nene said it has a lot, that she, saves basically everything for her kids now, her boys, and she makes sure that they have everything, just things that you would do as a mother. So I'm happy for Marlo. She seems to be settling in that, space very well. Kenya, how's little Brooklyn? Brooklyn is great. Kenya's in love with her. Porsha, how about little baby Porsha? You got the shady baby. And Porsha says, yes, she definitely does. She's cute. She does look like Porsha. She got a little bit of Dennis mixed in her too, but she's a cutie pie. Doesn't smile much, but neither did Jada. Jada still doesn't smile much. That'll probably stick with little PJ for the rest of her life. Then we get on the subject of Porsha and Kenya and their friendship. Porsha was just like, well, Andy, I don't know how it's gonna be. Me and Kenya had a good relationship before the show started, and when we got on the show, I just started to see old Kenya ways come back. So I don't know if we can still be friends. I mean, we'll see. Kenya said that she feels like that now that Nene and Porsha are back good, that now all of a sudden Porsha just has this intolerance for Kenya that she didn't have before, which is true. And it's too bad, because I was hoping that Porsha would have taken more of the neutral, fun, shady route instead of being the person up Nene's ass route. I mean, you guys can clearly see after watching this reunion, this part in particular, that we got some alliances drawn up. And basically, we got Kandi, Kenya, Eva, maybe Cynthia on one side. And then we got Nene, Porsha, Marlo, and Tanya. Okay. Now, of course, we can say that Nene's side might be a little bit weaker because she only has one housewife that is up on her side, whereas Kenya, Kandi, Eva, there's three there, and Cynthia, who I think is going to tend to lean a little bit on that side, even though Cynthia's probably going to try to remain neutral there. So Nene still does not have like a solid foothold in next season. I mean, I'm sure she'll be back. I don't know if it'll be as a full housewife or what, but yeah, you can see the alliances being drawn. Anyway, the Shamia situation. I mean, that story is just so crazy to me. The fact that Kenya has said that Shamia had reached out to her when she was going into labor. Porsha said, Shamia told me that you were lying and that you guys don't talk anymore. Okay. And basically said that Kenya was really trying to create, I don't know. Kenya posted the text messages that she and Shamia had. As far as when exactly that happened, I think that's what's up. That's the question right now. Did that happen? Shamia said that happened weeks before she actually went into labor. I guess she was feeling like maybe something was going on and she had told Kenya about it, but she didn't end up having the baby then. Kenya said that she did it on the day that she was going into labor. So I don't know. Maybe Kenya thought that was the day that it happened. I don't know. Okay, so Kenya said that it was all a misunderstanding, and that she hates that they're where they are right now because she would like for their girls to be able to have play dates and all of that, but not if Porsha has anything to do with it. I don't think Porsha is willing to let her friendship with Shamia, go along to Kenya's side. Next up, we call Kenya to the carpet about her fun shade versus just her being plain old mean. Okay. First point in question is the whole Marlo wig event. Marlo was very upset that she did that. Okay. And she felt like that was being messy shade, not fun shade. You know, Kenya was just like, well, was it fun shade when Shamia drank the water out of my, hair care bottles at the hair care event? Okay, Shamia and Porsha. Porsha was just like, first of all, it was just Shamia. It was not me. Okay, even though she laughed and all. But Kenya was like, no, that was definitely fun shade. Now, it wasn't fun shade. It was just shady. Yeah, the shit was funny, like she said, and they were laughing. The ladies were laughing. Okay. Because it was just like, damn, are you really crashing this full event here with this band and everything? But it wasn't fun. You definitely knew that Marlo was going to be upset about it. Fun shade is when we can all sort of like even laugh and just be like touche kind of, but, no. That wasn't fun shade. So then, of course, Marlo and Kenya start getting into an argument, and, Marlo was like, and that's why you can't keep a man. Okay. Kenya was like, when have you ever had a man except for the time that you and Nene both was fucking that same guy some seasons ago, And they talking about the white guy, the Italian guy that Nene had went on that date with. Remember all of the drama off of the show where supposedly Marlo had tried to drug him and get all this information out of him about Nene. Y'all remember all of that shit, remember? So Nene was just like, I ain't never fucked him. First of all, let's get that straight. Don't be putting me in your mess. I wasn't fucking nobody, bitch. Okay. I really wish I had a drink for every time they said bitch. Them bitches was flying. We get on the subject of Tanya. Okay. Calling her a see you next Tuesday. Okay. And Kenya says that she did feel bad after she had said that, but she just was really, really mad, and she felt like Tanya was coming for her business. Okay. But she did feel bad after that. I don't know if she reached out to Tanya and apologized, but she said that she felt bad. I'm sure she felt something because they was really upset with her in the blogs for saying that. Okay. Especially at a time when everybody was feeling Tanya. So Andy asked Tanya, did she accept the apology? And Tanya was just like, I feel like she just really had to just say that because she knew that she had messed up. So she just had to acknowledge it. So I guess that means that Tanya didn't really feel like it was a sincere feeling. Is just sort of that she knew she had went too far. So they asked Nene, well, did she feel like Kenya deserved what she was going through because of the shit that she did to Tanya? And Nene just sat there and was just looking, trying to figure out how she wanted to answer the question. So then Kenya jumps in. She says, okay, well, let me just ask this. Does Nene deserve to be cheated on by Greg? Him messing around with the help. And I was like, okay, Nene, now you better answer this right, because Nene was the one who put that story out there. I was surprised that she did, because I was like, girl, they about to use this at the reunion. Okay. So I was just like, go on and say yes, Nene, or go on and just not, don't be all hellfire mad at Kenya for a story that you let everybody know about. So, and then Nene did. Nene was like, yeah, maybe it was my karma. Okay, maybe it was. Okay, I said, thank you. Least stay true to it. We kind of go further into this Tanya and Kenya situation. Now, I thought that it was very interesting that Tanya was always aware of the cookie lady. Okay. Evidently, Cynthia had gone to Tanya and told her about the cookie lady when they were in Canada. Okay, and you guys have to remember that the cookie lady thing happened after they got back from Canada and all of that. But Cynthia told her because Cynthia felt bad about it and just kind of wanted to give her a heads up. Well, evidently, Tanya kept that shit under wraps. She knew, but she was just going to hold on to it, I guess, for maybe two reasons. One, she was going to see if Kenya wasn't going to say anything about it, she wasn't. Or for two, when Kenya did say something about it, she would be, she could look like she was being attacked, which she was, okay? But she was using that, like, okay, it's either going to be she ain't going to say nothing, or I'm going to just let her say it, and then I'm going to use it to make her really look bad, okay? So, and we went with number two. So she didn't say nothing. Kenya brought the cookie lady to the brunch. And Tanya was ready. Tanya was like, basically, that's why she knew she pulled the whole wig situation. She knew about the cookie lady. And so that was sort of her way of getting back at Kenya. All right. Now, were the two reactions adequate? I felt like Kenya's was way, she was supposedly so mad because she felt like Tanya was trying to fuck up her business, and it is not really that big of a deal. People wear wigs all the time. I always assumed that everybody knows Kenya has long, thick hair. Okay, that still doesn't mean that you can't wear wigs, and for her to say that could jeopardize her business. But I'm thinking to myself, it's not jeopardizing your business, because we already know you wearing a wig doesn't necessarily mean that your hair is fucked up. And people who wear wigs, I mean, there are a lot of women who have hair problems, that wear wigs, but then there are others that just choose to wear wigs because they, whatever their personal reason is, they don't feel like fucking with their hair. It's protecting their hair, it's easier, they can style it every day the way they want, and I ain't got to worry about damage. Like, it's all kind of reasons, Kenya just could have played that differently. Like, yeah, I wear a wig every now and then. Okay. But my products is why my hair looks the way that it does. And just went from there. And plus, we know that her hair is not like that from her products. She's had that hair. She's born with that kind of hair. Okay. Thick and long, and probably grows super easily. Some people just have it. So I guess Cynthia and Eva felt some kind of way, because we kind of was like, why wouldn't you guys let her know, let her know that this shit was coming, especially when Kenya had already said that Cynthia had met the cookie lady and had brought the cookie lady to the wine event that Cynthia had, but now we find out that all that shit happened behind the scenes, and, Cynthia and Eva, looked bad on the show, and they shouldn't have necessarily. Kandi, why didn't you have an opinion about Tanya? Well, you guys, we all know that Kandi has made it very clear that she only talks about shit that she's been a part of on the show. If shit happened off of the show and she, had a conversation about it off the show, she's not going to talk about it on the show. If she wasn't there, then she's not involved, and she chooses to stay that way. So when Tanya was just like, well, Kandi, you should have an opinion because it's principle. It's all about principle. Okay. But Kandi was just like, look, I don't care, honestly. Okay. I'm not trying to, I respect you and everything, Tanya, but I don't know you like that. Okay. And, I don't know what's going on with you guys' relationship. I'm not going to be fighting to the death for you. Basically, you're going to have to handle that the same way that I had to handle it when Cynthia brought the girl to the bar when, that was talking about her messing with Todd back in the day. It just happened. So you was able to handle it. So what did I need to get in it for? I was like, exactly. It's getting hot in here, you guys. So then we move on to the surrogacy, Kandi's surrogate. Well, I love my surrogate. The bond is so close. And for anybody that's asking that might be worried, I would just let you know that everything is good. Because, people have been saying that it's not natural for her to have a relationship with her surrogate mother. But she says that it's just hard to draw that line sometimes, at least it is for her. She said, Andy, you would know because you have a surrogate mother as well. And Andy said, yes, the fact that somebody was able to give them this gift, it was special to him. So he understands what Kandi means. So Kandi, how are you and Todd's relationship? Everything is great. How is Todd and Mama Joyce's relationship? Oh, they are just fine. Everything is fine. After we had Blaze, they was able to come together. I said, that damn Kandi. Either they making up shit for the show, okay, which is what I actually believe. It's so funny because on the show, shit can be falling apart. But then when they get off of the show, everything is good, and Mama Joyce and Todd are fine. And, they good, and everybody's one big happy family. Then we get the fucking spinoff. And then they be having problems again. Because you guys know what the spinoff is going to be about, the OLG. And of course, Todd being the one that started OLG and Kandi's family being very much involved in that project, you already know what that's gonna be. So it's just like, oh, they have problems for the show, and then when they off the show, they fine. And I want everybody to know that my mama was fine before we came on the show. She gave me a good life, so of course, as her daughter now, I want to make sure that she's good. Okay? And so she helps her mother and takes care of her mother, but she says her mother don't want her money. I said, oh, if you say so. Okay, she might not want your money, but she sure don't want Todd to get it either. Still talking about motherhood, Eva. You were so touched about your daughter, Marley, being able to get your husband, Michael's last name. Eva starts to talk about, the next step would have been adoption, but Kevin, she calls him the donor. She says the donor, contested that, came to Atlanta, acted a fucking fool. And that was the time when he actually got into the fight with the security guard and they rolled down the stairs and all of that. And he got arrested and all of that. But she said that he was trying to get child support from her and trying to get full custody of Marley. Then she just gives background on her relationship with the donor, and her saying that they wasn't in a real... I mean, you guys, I did a full story about them on one of my top of the blogs a long, long time ago. And I remember when she talked about this specific story, when she had got her ass beat so bad that the police was like, you're going to have to, press charges, because I remember she had locked him out the house and he was running around to the other side and he was trying to get in a door and he had busted a window or some shit. It was a whole bunch of drama. She slamming a door in his face and running around and trying to make sure she got away from him and all of that. So definitely don't think that Eva's lying, especially because we know that Kevin has had plenty of other women that he's had, had problems with. Remember the girl that posted the video and he had busted her front teeth out and her lip was busted and all of that shit, and said that. So yeah, I don't think that Eva's lying. And I really feel like Eva still needs therapy on that. It affects her so much still to talk about that. She gets so upset she needs a break. I hate talking about him. He's such a fucking asshole. And I felt sorry for her because I was like, anytime that them emotions still be that raw, like I feel like she still has a lot to work out with how that affected her, the domestic abuse. So, and the emotional abuse, physical abuse, all of the abuse. So she gets up, she needs a break. So then we move on to Porsha and the superintendent's relationship. We're good. We're quarantined together with my family and the baby. Everything is fine. We're in a good place right now. But we know that Porsha and the superintendent, they have their issues, okay? It might not necessarily be that he's cheating, but just the perception of him not necessarily making the best choices, okay? We talk about the fact that he was seen at 4 a.m. getting breakfast with 4 women. Look, when I saw that, and when we talked about it, I think on top of the blogs, I just felt like, yeah, it probably doesn't look good, but it didn't look like he was doing anything. He was just sitting there, just happened to be 4 women, and he was talking. So yeah, that doesn't look good when it just came out that you had been cheating, on Porsha. I mean, you admitted it, and then you out with these women at 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, he was at a open restaurant. So it wasn't like it was any kind of anything slick, but it's just sort of like, nigga, everybody is watching. Okay, why I got to be getting all these text messages and photos and shit of you with all these women at the fucking at the restaurant. Porsha wasn't there. She was just like, I knew that he was going to a birthday party for a friend. I didn't know that he was going to go have breakfast with these ladies. Okay, so that wasn't the, just right then saying, okay, he's cheating. It just didn't look the best. Okay, so he gets a pass on that one. Was she affected by the way the girls joked about him and that whole bestiality rumor that was going around? She's just like, first of all, anybody that believed that is crazy because it was not true. But I was not surprised, that they would say things like that. I was so numb that I didn't even care. I was not really surprised that that was coming from these group of girls. And everybody had something to say except for Kandi. Kandi was the only one in that montage who didn't mention anything about the bestiality. She might have laughed when people was talking about it, but she didn't per se say any one joke about him. Kandi was just like, fuck it, I ain't saying shit else. And they were like, well, Kandi, why is it that you don't say anything? Okay. Are you just not trying to be involved in a relationship? Or, do you know something about it that you're trying to keep away? And Kandi was like, no, not at all. Not at all. It's just that me and Porsha, we are trying to get to a better place. So I just figured it's better that I don't never speak on her relationship publicly. And then Nene gonna jump in there and be like, okay, so you can see how I wouldn't speak about Wendy publicly. What is she talking about? What does that have to do with what we talking about now? And I was like, really, what does it have to do? First of all, Wendy is not even on the show. Okay, unless you want to count these 2 or 3 phone conversations that Nene had, but it's not nothing comparable. This is a relationship we talking about. This shit with you and Wendy. Okay, girl, stop it. But this is the segue for Andy to try to figure out why Kandi and Nene have this beef going on social media. What is the problem? Nene was just like, well, Andy, I was on my YouTube channel and I was talking about, whatever she was talking about. But what she keeps saying is when she talked about the person getting the spinoffs on the show, she was not talking about Kandi. I said, ooh, Nene. For the one thing for you to choose to be like lying about, this is the thing when it's so obvious that you was talking about Kandi. Oh, y'all, these my shoes that I just ordered on Amazon. I see the Amazon man pulling up now. Let me roll up my window so he don't see me in the car. Oh, that's the same little old white man that came before. He must got my route. Them don't look like... Oh, that's 2 boxes. One might be for Mister. Okay, don't fall down the stairs. So then they show the clips from Nene's YouTube show about her talking about somebody always getting these spinoffs. Kandi was just like, so who are you talking about then? Nene, I don't have to say, if I wanted to say something to you, I'm not scared of you. Who are you, bitch? I will say it to your face. Kandi was just like, I will say it to your face. I'm saying it to your face right now. Answer the question. And Nene is not going to answer this question. Andy says she could only be talking about Kandi or Kim Bierman. Kim Bierman's not on this show. And Kim Bierman has a show. She doesn't have spinoffs. I mean, it is a spinoff of Real Housewives of Atlanta, but Kim now is her own separate entity, her own show now. So when we talk about spinoffs specifically from Real Housewives of Atlanta that keeps on getting them, Kandi's the only one that's had it. She's had her wedding special. She had the ski trip special that she had. I think she had, she's had 2 or 3. Now she's about to have this new one that's coming, and that's what Kandi was saying. Okay, when you said what you said, my new spinoff had just started production. So it was clear that Nene was. And I was like, Nene, girl, now why are you lying? Because what else could it be? You won't even offer what the other one is. You just going to keep on. But the whole show, yes, I said that. Yes, I did that. Yes, I said it. No, I'm not taking it back. Oh, no, I ain't. But now when it's so clear, you're talking about Kandi. But see, Nene's never going to admit that she's just jealous of Kandi. She is just jealous of Kandi. Because like Kandi said, bitch, you know who I am. You knew who I was before I came on this show. You were singing my songs. They got you on camera singing them. I'm in your brain, bitch. I'm embedded in your brain, bitch. I said, oh, would I tell you, that damn Nene was so upset. But it was true. Why are you acting like, first of all, why are you even mad at Kandi? See, Nene, when she gets into this mode, like she just goes full throttle and she starts attacking people that it don't be no reason for her to be attacking people. Why are you mad at Eva? Okay. Because she's boring. So what? Like, what does that have to do? Why are you mad about her being boring? Okay. You keep on saying you would never get somebody put off the show, but you didn't, try to do it with Cynthia. Now you keep on bringing up this subject that Eva's boring. She don't need to be on the show. And then, so what's the problem with Eva? And now what's the problem with Kandi? Kandi did not do nothing to Nene. You know, Kandi was like, let's keep it clear, we got along the whole season. The whole season. She was the one that's going around trying to talk to everybody and all of that. I did not say nothing or do anything to Nene. And she didn't. So I was just like, oh, Nene, you are exhausting. Because Nene pulled that shit out of her ass. Anyway, they was arguing back and forth so much that Andy muted them. So, you know, they was still going back and forth. You could just see them. They was just like, Porsha was just like, wait, we can't see the sound gone. You know, they was like, we can't hear y'all. I was like, that's the best invention that they ever came up with, that mute button. So anyway, we move on to the next clips. I don't even know what the next clips was going to be. They start to try to talk about it, but then they realize that Nene, while they're showing the clips, you know, Nene over there mumbling to herself, you know, I don't know why these girls always got to talk to me. If they'd have had me, they wouldn't have nothing else to talk about, you know, all of this. And then finally, baby, she just politely puts her laptop stayed down like this. And then they notice that Nene is gone again. Okay. And it looks like this time, you know, man down, Nene has left the building and looks like she probably is not coming back. I don't know why Nene keeps getting up and leaving. Okay. Like I tell you guys every season with these reunions, some people just, you have to go through it at the reunion. If you had one of them kind of seasons, but see, Nene didn't even have one of them kind of seasons. Nene wasn't even on the show that much. But off camera and on Nene's blogs, I mean, on her YouTube and on the blogs and all that, Nene was working overtime because she was trying to gather up enough talk about her so that she can stay relevant, so she can maintain her place on the show, you know. So you did all of that shit stirring, and then when you come time for you to get to the reunion, you don't want to fuck with it, you know. I was just like, what is this? So the good thing about it is the mute button. The bad thing about it is that you can just get up and leave, and there's nobody, you know. I'm sure there's a little bit of production probably in their place, but you know, you can just be like, fuck it, I'm not doing it no more. And that's too bad, because damn it, we got shit still to talk about, and it's gonna be a lot next week. But yeah, you guys, that was pretty much it. It wasn't as good, it wasn't as funny as the first week, you know. And I feel like this stuff that they talked about this week was probably before what they talked about last week, and they just edited out of order because everybody was much calmer in this part than they were in the first part. You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, what y'all thought about it? Child, one more week. All right, you guys, that's it. Let me get on to Married to Medicine LA. I'm not going to do Insecure till tomorrow, okay? We ain't doing all these shows all on one day. I'm going to spread it out so I can keep my analytic numbers right. But anyway, you guys, let me get off of here. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything else we do will be in the bottom bar. All right? All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.